Here's what just happened in Ottawa, Alberta, BC, and why it matters. Prime Minister Mark Carney is expected to sign an energy deal with Alberta Premier Danielle Smith in Calgary on Thursday. At the core, a path, not a final approval. A new oil pipeline to the northwest BC coast. Limited exemptions to federal environmental rules. Limited exemptions to the tanker moratorium. That set off alarms among some BC Liberal MPs. They say they haven't been fully briefed. A few are, quote, seething and angry. Their worry: backing a pipeline could alienate climate-minded pipeline-skeptic voters in their ridings. Zoom out. Alberta wants more tidewater access to ship oil to Asian markets. The existing Trans-Mountain line flows to Burnaby. This would open a northern route long favoured by Smith. In return, Ottawa's looking for emissions reductions. Think big carbon capture, Pathways Plus, and a reworked climate plan to account for more output. Now the friction points. David Eby wasn't at the table. He says BC must be included. He wants a cap on using taxpayer dollars, maybe even a ban on public money for pipelines. Coastal First Nations and Eby defend the 2019 Oil Tanker Moratorium Act. Carney's line in question period. Nothing moves without provincial and Indigenous consent. Inside the Liberal caucus, it's tense. Some MPs warn they could lose seats. Others urge everyone to take a breath and wait for the MOU text. The government plans to brief BC MPs to cool tempers and lay out conditions. Indigenous consultation, provincial negotiations, safeguards on emissions. Environmental groups call this a betrayal of climate commitments and Indigenous rights. Supporters say Canada needs economic diversification, new markets, a pragmatic path pairing development with tougher industrial carbon rules. So what should you watch for on Thursday? Exact scope of exemptions to environmental laws. Exact scope of exemptions to the tanker ban. The consent framework. What counts as significant buy-in from rights holders and from BC? Concrete emissions trade-offs, timelines, targets, who pays, any limits on public money for pipeline construction. Bottom line, this is not a green light, it's a roadmap with a lot of gates. Alberta, a potential path to tidewater. Ottawa, firmer emissions cuts. BC and Indigenous nations, critical veto power in practice. I'll keep tracking the briefing to BC MPs and the Thursday signing. If the MOU lands with few strings, expect a loud caucus fight. If it's thick with conditions, the debate shifts to whether those safeguards are real. Subscribe, and I'll break down the fine print once we see it.